Good afternoon, Calvin. My name is Steve Mberi, and I'm speaking in the capacity of number one, a man, number two, a father, and number three, as a nurse. So, the purpose of what I'm going to say is not that my story is so unique or that working hard is something that only I have done. But oftentimes, when we talk about personal achievements as men, we only talk about the upside, but we never talk about the cost. So the social landscape in Australia is challenging. The culture here is often places little emphasis on human connection. If your neighbor gives you a nod, it feels like a good day. Now, this stands in stark contrast to the places many of us come from, where the streets are alive with conversation, music, laughter, and greetings. At the same time, life has become increasingly expensive. Many of us want more than simply getting by. We want to build businesses. Some of us want to climb the corporate ladder. Some of us want to invest wisely and do something meaningful for our children. We want security, we want opportunity, and we want a legacy. The problem is that pursuing these goals often comes with a cost that we do not fully appreciate until you pay for it.
Yes.
When my wife and I were saving for our first house, with the pressure of the ladies, I could see the housing market was moving at an incredible pace. And I knew that if we did not save a deposit quickly, home ownership might become nothing more than a dream. Some of that pressure was self-imposed, but much of it came from the economic reality around us. I threw myself into work. I worked 3 16-hour shifts every week on top of my other responsibilities. In a typical fortnight, I worked 13 of the 14 days. Now, on the days off, I delivered party chairs, often spending hours during the week cleaning 25 of them at a time, all before going for an afternoon shift. My days off were not really days off at all. They were spent sleeping and trying to recover enough energy to do it all again. At first, I told myself it was temporary, and I told myself that it was what needed to be done. After all, this is what ambitious people do, right, isn't it? We sacrifice. We wake up earlier, we stay up late, we take on extra shifts and extra responsibilities. We tell ourselves that a man's life has never been easy, that the sacrifice is necessary. We know our wives, our children, friends and families are getting less of our time and attention, but we reassure ourselves that this will all be worth it in the end. The problem is that temporary sacrifice becomes a lifestyle. Gradually, I began to notice some changes within myself. I became more irritable and unpleasant, especially at work. Despite only being a kind person, I avoided social interactions because I was exhausted. My friendships suffered. My marriage suffered. I barely kept in touch with my family and friends in Zimbabwe. What surprised me the most was the reward stopped feeling rewarding. When I looked at my payslip, I didn't feel any joy. It was just another small brick in a wall that still seemed impossibly large. Now, no matter hard work ever felt like enough because the goal kept feeling far away. The stress began to show up in other ways too. In that single year, I received 3 traffic offenses due to inattentive driving, including 1 for texting while driving and 2 for speeding. I was placed on a good behavior bond for a year. Before that period, I had never committed any traffic offenses in my life. Eventually, we bought the house. People assume that achieving a major goal brings immediate happiness and pride. But for me, the first emotion was neither of those things. It was relief. It was relief that the endless work was finally stopping. Only after I had rested and recovered did I begin to feel proud of what we had achieved. The experience taught me that something important. I do not wear 16-hour shifts as a badge of honor. Working that way for extended periods of time is not something to celebrate. It can damage your health, it can strain your relationships, and if left unchecked, slowly erode the very motivation that made you work hard in the first place. There's a difference between working hard in a way that consumes you. Do that for 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, and eventually the bill comes due. You find yourself exhausted, craving, afraid that nobody will give you unless you take it yourself. You gain weight because you stop paying attention to your eating habits, sleep, and exercise. The spark in your relationship fades. You feel distant from your wife. You feel empty. You feel nostalgic and disconnected. You begin longing for home. You realize what made you happy was never just the opportunity for money. It was the people around you. It was the conversations. It was the sense of community. The hopeful people who struggled but still smiled. The people who said good morning to strangers because they understood that acknowledging another person's presence matters. There's the foundation for good mental health and healthy social support systems. Ambition in itself is not a problem. We can still pursue things, but we must remember that the human body, whether man or woman, is not a machine designed solely for productivity. It is a living thing that must be cared for it to function at its best. So what I do in my life now is I stretch my goals over longer time frames so that success does not come at the cost of my well-being. I try to sleep enough. I still stay up late, watch Netflix and things like that, but I try to get enough sleep, and if I don't get a good night's sleep, I sleep during the day. There's no reason why you should be feeling bad or eat breakfast. Learn to say no to demands that push beyond your limits. Protect time for your relationships. They're not a distraction from life. They're a fundamental part of it. And exercise is not a luxury. It's a necessity. We come from places where exercise was incorporated in our way of living. Most of us didn't have cars. We walked everywhere. So now if you don't make the conscious effort to exercise, it just falls apart. Eat appropriately and consistently. And if you drink alcohol, do so in moderation. It's also important to recognize the signs that you're doing too much. Firstly, when I am under excessive stress, I become irritable, impatient, and withdrawn. I avoid interactions with people. Others may experience stress differently, but everyone has warning signs. So it's important that we pay attention to these signs. Your life is not defined by what you achieve or by what happens around you. Your life is defined by how you experience it through your mind and your body. What I mean by that is when people talk about mental health, the function of your mind is a function of a physical organ, which is the brain. So for you to take care of your mind, you need to take care of your body. What kind of experience do you want? Do you want to be tired, constantly pushing through, or healthy, present, and naturally motivated because your body and mind and relationships are being cared for? You need to live well so that in pursuit of building a life, you never lose the desire to live it. Thank you.